This is not a joke, people. Knull is Battle World. In this video, we are confirming that Knull is the big boss of Battle World. I'm going to tell you everything that I'm allowed to tell you about Battle World. We're going to go about past communications they've given us so that we know what to expect. And I'm going to talk about the vibes that I had in a call with the other envoys where we were given a demo about Battle World. I'll give you my impressions about that. I haven't done that yet because I wanted to have more information to share. But yes, Knull is Battle World. Let's go. So Knull is going to be the big bad. He is going to be the boss of Battle World. What does that mean? We'll talk about that in a second. So he's going to be the final boss of the first Battle World. That is very important because we did have another call where it was confirmed. They already working on part 2. All right, this is not going to be a super stagnant thing. I don't think we're going to have the same Battle World for 12 months because that would be absolutely insanely boring. They didn't give us a timeline. I'm guessing it's going to be, biannually. Does that mean twice a year? Does that mean every second year? I don't know. We're probably going to get one every 2 times a year. And then players will have to clear zones in order to reach the Knull encounter. So how do I know that? This was a blog from, God, I don't even know when. Let's scroll up to the top. November 29th, 2023. All right, this was after the Envoy Summit, and they showed us a little sneak peek of stuff. But then this is when they announced it to everybody else, okay? So this was actually giving more information than what we knew. So we're thrilled to announce the new game mode for Marvel Strike Force is currently in the early stages of production. In recent years, we put significant effort into developing and improving the PvP modes like Cosmic Crucible and Alliance War. I think that is undoubtedly true. Cosmic Crucible got a huge facelift when they started just putting more and more and more seasons faster and faster and faster, which I thought was really nice of them. Hold on, I'm just moving my camera so I'm looking the right way. And then War, they started doing like seasonal stuff, and they've increased the rewards of certain modes, and Dark Diamonds ended up in Cosmic Crucible, stuff like that. So I think that's fair. The PvE game modes like Raids and Scourge Trials have also seen improvements, but we're ready to go a step further. This was before Spotlight Raids. I don't know if Spotlight Raids is an improvement. I mean, it's better than Greek Raids because they were boring, and the Spotlight Raids have room to grow, so I guess that's true. We can give them that. Slated for release in 2024 is the new PvE game mode, Siege on Battle World. Yes, we do know from Strike Fox's introduction to the community that we are expecting Battle World in Q3 of this year. So it's October, which is, a few weeks away, or November, or December. I'm leaning towards early. I don't think they would have announced it's going to be Q3 and then it comes out like December 29th. I don't see that happening, but we'll have to wait and see. All right. I learned of a planet called Battle World, an amalgamation of locations from various conquered universes, which is such a cool lore idea. The planet is divided into territories, each ruled by a powerful boss vying for control. To mitigate the threat of these new bosses, your alliance is authorized to systematically siege various territories one by one. So if you know what is it? Was it Secret Wars? The one with Doctor Doom when he takes over everything. That comic book arc. That was called Battle World, where there was like Thor Island, and then Thanos had his own spot, and like all the big bads kind of had their own area. I'm gonna be interested to see if that's the direction to go. Correct me if I'm wrong. That was called Battle World, right? It's been so long since I've read that comic. All right, sieges. They're gonna last 6 days. So kind of like how crucibles are called trials, I guess Battle Worlds are gonna be called sieges, with each zone offering a new set of daily challenges. So a new set of daily challenges should suggest that it's not gonna be, like a raid node. It shouldn't be just a bunch of raid nodes where you complete it and you get to go. So hopefully we're going to see some actual challenges and rewards along the way. Mind you, this blog was subject to change, so we'll see what they do with that. As your alliance completes zone missions, you'll advance through territory, 1 zone per day. Okay, so that's very important. It's going to be a 6-day event. You get to do 1 zone per day. It's like a 24-hour countdown. It's exactly like the Cosmic Crucible trial where it's like, hey, there's 24 hours, beat zone 1, move on to zone 2, move on to zone 3, zone 4, and then finally to Knull. And have the opportunity to challenge the boss in the final zone. Characters in Battle World can only be used once daily. So if you use Annihilators in zone 1, you can still use them in zone 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So your alliance needs to coordinate to maximize points. We'd like to show you some early designs, but please keep in mind that many details shown below may change, except for one. Look at this. Look at these cheeky buggers. They knew Annihilators are coming, so that leads us to question, Alpha Primitives? Hello? And Nakoronauts? Okay. Earth Force? And they're trying to hide the GOATS team right here, West Coast Avenger. That's right, guys. Hawkeye re-rick confirmed. Bring him up to 3 diamonds. Put gear tier 19 on him. Everything. This is not a drill. Invest in Hawkeye and invest now. Just kidding. but hopefully. Hopefully it's not all these guys first. I really want. Anyway, we did see moments were here, but the fact that we haven't heard about moments in a hot minute gives me pause. We did just get a new progression with purple ISO for Odin, so the idea they're going to introduce another one, kind of weird. I'm more leaning towards, you know, this could be purple ISO, or this could be maybe gear tier 20 for Professor X when he comes in March, maybe. We'll see what the rewards are going to be, but no words about moments, and there was the data mine where that file was empty. But that is that data mine, though. It could be. Anyway, one thing we should notice here, shout out to, he's already said it. Shout out to Mobile Gamer. When we saw this image at the Envoy Summit, Mobile Gamer's like, Magneto, huh? Not sexy enough. But he said it with a lot more swag. And yeah, it's not Magneto. It's Knull. It's freaking Knull, baby. It's freaking Knull. Knull is Battle World. Let's go. All right, so this is, I guess, what they think it's going to look like. You can see each kind of thing is separated by a zone. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then finally the boss. So this is kind of what we can expect. And if we look here, this is a very interesting image, right? So special operations, character sent. So are we sending characters out every day, or is this just one day where we send it out? Do we not even do gameplay one day? We'll find out. Claim the region. No idea what that would mean. Cross the gate. So these are victory points, right? I don't know what that's going to mean either, but it seems like maybe these are going to be indicative of the type of challenges we're going to face on the nodes. That could be cool. And then loot moment tower, I have no idea what that's going to mean. Just 100,000 collected, kind of weird. In addition to daily and siege complete rewards, Battleworld features a season leaderboard where alliances compete for the highest tier of powerful rewards. We'll keep you updated on our progress, and we'll find as many opportunities as possible to provide feedback. And that is kind of the crux of this video. We're going to go over we're going to go over everything, but we're going to go over the call of what I'm allowed to share with you, which is basically I'm allowed to share my vibes, like what I got from it, kind of my takeaways, nothing concrete about the mode, no structural analysis or anything like that. Okay. All right. What to expect? It's going to be moderate coordination with alliances. It's not going to be like War. War is an absolutely crazy amount of coordination with the high-end alliances right now, where no defenses are the same war to war. When you throw Ares on a team, it completely demolishes some counters. If you throw Skrull or Black Knight or whatever, you know, insert awesome plug-and-play character here, and you put them on a team, all of a sudden, what you would normally use as a counter is completely trashed, and you got to do something different, which means you got to shuffle everything else around. So the amount of coordination that goes in at the highest end of alliances is pretty wacky. It's fun, but it's wacky, and it's definitely leading to a lot of burnout with officers. So you should not expect to need that level of coordination for Battleworld, which I think is very, very important. I know a lot of people, they kind of don't like War because they don't have that organization, but to get somebody willing to do that organization, that's a task and a half for sure, right? With that said, we did just look at them claiming there's going to be a seasonal leaderboard. So obviously, if there's going to be a seasonal leaderboard, then there's also going to have to be a difficulty slider, right? There's going to be, just like raids probably, where the difficulty is like 1, 2, 3, and people are going to max out. And then in order to differentiate yourself and, you know, be on top of the leaderboard, my understanding is that you're going to be able to repeat the last boss, and whoever kills him the most or does the most damage or some shit like that. That's kind of what they do in these other game modes. But it is not going to be a direct copy of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes or the failed Lord of the Rings game. It's not going to be a direct copy, which, honestly, a little bit of a bummer, because I loved the Lord of the Rings raid mode. I thought it was so cool. I've gone over this a lot in stream. So, the first stage, I only ever did the first stage. A wave comes in. It'd be endless waves that would come in, right? And you had a timer. And, was it a timer or did you die? You might have just died. I forget which. Hopefully there's not a timer. Timers are lame. And there'd be a goblin who had an explosive on him, and you had to hit him, and every time you hit him, you gave him a 10% chance to drop his explosive. And when it was his turn, you know, it would do the check, how much percent chance there to drop it, he would then drop it, it would explode, and if it killed his own allies, you got extra bonus points. So you wanted to AoE a bit, but you want to make sure you're hitting him enough. The reason it was trash in Lord of the Rings is because the character kits were not developed enough for a mode like that. But in our game, we are so developed. So I'm not sure if they're going to go in depth like that, But I hope that they do, and I hope that we do see some stuff like in Marvel Strike Force. What do we have? We have, we have to get our shield operative to hit the button 4 times, or there's an enemy assaulter and we need to stop them from hitting their button 4 times. We have seen mini bosses. We have seen like you have to kill this character to move over. So we do have some battle gameplay. Not just kill X amount of targets, right? We do have that. So hopefully they're going to lean into that, but it's not going to be a direct copy of Star Wars Galaxy Heroes or Lord of the Rings, which, is good. It's Marvel Strike Force. This is our game. Let's make it our game. And then is there going to be a shift in game time? So I talked about war a little bit, right? War takes a long time. It's not just you get on, you do your 10 attacks at the highest in alliances or any sort of organized alliance, right? You have to wait for the proper counter. If you just take out, 10 Hero for Hire or Marauder teams, your alliance is screwed and you've done a really bad job, which is why you have to kind of wait your turn in order to get the right counters down. Crucible, if you care about Crucible, you're probably staring at it for 40 minutes a day. Raids, until you can sim it, you're also probably spending like 40 minutes a day there. You're jumping on for your arena attacks, you're jumping on for your star resets, you're jumping on to get your energy. You're putting a lot of time into the game. Will Battle World add just another 45 minutes? My impression is no. My impression is it's not. Okay, let's go to the next slide. It's not Raids 2.0. Let's jump to the bottom. It's not Raids 2.0 by far. There's a lot more interest here. It's not like you're just going to start simming it after a while. It's not going to be no time, and so we might see them shift around other things. We'll have to wait and see. I'm very excited for what they're going to do. PvE game modes are so much more digestible by the vast majority of players. It leads to so much more theory crafting. We can work together to get it done. It's just a more enjoyable experience to me. That's why I gravitate towards Scourges as much as I do, and gravitate away from War as much as I do, because I just don't like it. It takes away the toxicity and adds the theory crafting. That's what PvE does, which I think is super, super fun, and I'm here for it. All right, so let's go about the vibes. This is an exciting game mode. This is a very exciting addition. I love the idea that it's going to be like a week-long event, 6 days with a day off, where it's going to be like, you get your zone done, you got to put in enough effort that you unlock the second zone and you go from there. And if you don't unlock the second zone, it doesn't just end, is my understanding. You get to like try again the next day. So it's not like if you're in a baby alliance or you're just like a new player, you're not just screwed out of the mode right away. So I think that was a really, really good thing that they're doing. And the fact that they're going with Knull and they're already decided on the next big bad, I think is super cool. Another thing, I do want to give a huge shout out to Scopely for this one. When they were told Magneto ain't it, like you gotta go big on this. You gotta go with somebody like Onslaught or like Galactus or something like that. And there seems to be limitations on the engine that they could do. And so they heard that feedback. And then they changed the engine. So look at this background. This is a new. This looks like it's going to be a new scenery. We haven't had one of these in forever. This is exactly what it looks like. A left side, right side. Maybe stuff like maybe there's going to be a deer bouncing around the back. I don't know. This is exciting. So they have put in the effort to not just have this be another, you're fighting in the woods kind of thing. They are putting in the effort to make this an immersive experience. Okay, we jumped down to Note 3. We'll go back to Part 2 second. This is going to be a thing, guys. And when we saw them demo it for us, it was really cool. It was exciting. It got the gears turning right away. I was like, oh, this is cool. Oh, okay, so we could do this. We could do that. It was very, very exciting. I was pretty pumped for it. I'm definitely looking forward to it. But then there's this other aspect of it that this is dangerous. Not because of game time. Not because of, not unlocking characters. Nothing like that. It's dangerous because this has been built up since November 2023. Right? This has been building up. People are excited for this game mode, which means that if it's a letdown, if it does come back, it's just Raids 2.0, this is going to be not accepted very well. I didn't get the vibe that's what was going to happen. I think this will be accepted really well. I think there's going to be lots of theory crafting off rip. I think it's going to be exciting when we fight Knull. I don't know if I could say anything about that fight, but let's just say it makes you feel like you're fighting Knull. it makes you feel like you are fighting the Knull, okay? It doesn't feel like I'm fighting Apocalypse randomly in a Cosmic Cruise. It was like, okay, Apocalypse can ult and then he can Falcon Punch somebody. Like, those are game mechanics. But when you're fighting Knull, it's like, oh shit, that's Knull. That's what Knull does. That's what I would expect from him in a comic book. I wouldn't expect Thanos Apocalypse in a comic book to be like, hiya, now you all have trauma and 60% damage. No, I would expect Apocalypse to be like, I just grew 5,000 feet and I just morphed into somebody and I just crushed all. I would expect him to do all kinds of things. And that's the vibe I got from Knull. That he's going to do all kinds of things that you would expect from him to do in a comic book series, which I thought was really, really exciting. Anyway, guys, I got to be careful. I'm actually going to send this off to somebody to see if they could make sure I didn't make any boo-boos here. And yeah, guys, Knull is Battleworld. Knull is legitimately Battleworld. I'm so excited for this game mode. I hope you are too. Let me know in the comment section below if you're pumped to fight Knull, if what I talked about here today piqued your interest at all. And of course, are you going to max out your Hawkeye? Okay, look, they gave us the hint about Annihilators. I'm just going to guess these are all fake, and they hid the West Coast Avengers just a little bit, because they knew I'd pick up on that. Let me know in the comment section below. But for now, guys, stay happy, healthy, have fun, and oh, we got another video on the channel that came out at the exact same time as this one about the Daywalker, Blade. What you can expect from Blade, why you're going to want to go big on Blade, and how you're going to unlock diamonds for him? Interesting. That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.